The Jersey Shore. Located in the southeast portion of New Jersey State, dozens of beach towns are nestled across this region, standing as one of the most popular vacation spots in the northeastern United States. As a near lifelong resident of the Garden State myself, my family and I make sure we spend at least a week or so down by the coast every summer. Obviously, the trip's main attractions consist of several hour-long days on the beach, swimming in the water and taking in the sun, as well as exciting games, food, and rides on the boardwalk at night. But I've always had my hopes pinned on a separate, more adrenaline-pumping plan. You see, since about around the age of 9, I've been a pretty big motor racing fan. I followed all the big leagues, between NASCAR, Formula One, IndyCar, you name it, and I've attended about a dozen NASCAR National Series races. But I've always wanted to go to a different kind of motorsporting event, one that's a little bit harder to find on TV. Short track racing. A short track is a smaller, typically more locally focused oval with a paved or dirt surface measuring less than a mile in length, often less than half a mile. The discipline is characterized by a scrappier racing style, featuring a very diverse field of drivers, from teenagers with big dreams to one day reach the pinnacle of motorsports, to drivers well into their middle ages who race as a hobby. Lucky for me, the Jersey Shore area actually has a few of these raceways nearby, the closest of which being a 0.4 mile long dirt track by the name of New Egypt Speedway, located in New Egypt Township, New Jersey. Every trip I take to the shore, be it with my high school friend group, family friends, or just my immediate family, I try to convince the group to drive out to the Speedway and check out a Saturday night of racing action under the lights. Of course, being the only racing fan in any of these groups, my efforts would always come up short, often ending in a compromise to check out the Boardwalk's go-karting racetrack instead. Every single year was yet another, maybe we'll check that one out next time. Unfortunately, next time would turn into likely never. As in 2025, the Speedway announced that the 2025 season would be its last for the foreseeable future, and the raceway would be closing, most likely for good. The reason? Ownership is looking to sell the racetrack at a premium price point, looking to capitalize on New Jersey's real estate market. And New Egypt isn't alone on this. Across the country, racing fans have witnessed a mass closure of local short tracks. Even some of the most well-known regional raceways in the U.S., such as Irwindale Speedway in Southern California and Myrtle Beach Speedway in South Carolina, have closed their doors for similar reasons. Many other big-name racetracks are facing a continuous threat. Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, for example, is facing backlash from residents nearby complaining about the noise levels and lobbying to the city to have the racetrack removed. Of course, if you're as big a racing fan as I am, chances are you've already probably been made aware of this issue. While I certainly hope this video teaches you something and inspires you to support your local track, I urge you, above all else, to share this with some of your non-racing fan friends. Do a better job than I did convincing them to come to a Saturday night event. Let them know why it's important to save your Speedway. Now, so far this video, I've discussed a personal anecdote of mine as well as briefly touching on some of the threats to modern-day local short track racing. But I've yet to explain why any of this actually matters. If you're not familiar with the scene, I'd understand if you found confusion at my original outcry. The idea of building new single-family homes and developing a new community probably sounds pretty good. Why should I, someone who doesn't know a thing about motor racing, care about these raceways in the slightest? Well, think of your minor league baseball park. Minor league teams, much like racetrack owners, understand that they're not working with the MLB or NASCAR. They need to find ways to market themselves without the stars and intrigue of a major national sporting league. So, raceways offer experience packages for family audiences looking for fun weekend activities, featuring no alcohol and no smoking sections of their grandstands. In an era where it's growing increasingly common to throw a child in front of a screen, and Americans of all ages are facing what is seen as a widespread loneliness epidemic, such community-sharing events are growing more and more scarce. Also, the funding. Racetracks aren't cheap. The land they sit on, the maintenance, the fan amenities, they all cost owners a pretty penny. A lot of their financial support comes from sponsorship. billboards around the track, on the walls, or in every car in the field. A report from the North Carolina Motorsports Association found that every short track in the state benefits an average of about 20 local businesses, and that 85% of these speedways host charitable events, giving right back to their communities. Additionally, tourists who visit small tracks from out of town generate revenue by staying in nearby hotels or eating at local restaurants. A lost raceway doesn't just hurt fans, it creates a hole in a small town's economy. But let's go beyond that and crunch some numbers. Performance Racing Industry, or PRI for short, compiles a report every year tallying the economic value generation of motorsports in the United States on a national, state, and county level. Let's go back to my home state of New Jersey for a second, which, remember, doesn't host any NASCAR, Formula One, IndyCar, or any races from a premier national motorsports series. In 2025, New Jersey's motorsports industry generated over $795 million in revenue, as well as 3,600 jobs, $257 million in wages, and over $91 million in taxes. I'll remind you once again that these numbers are not from any sort of big-time national motorsport series. Of course, not all of this value comes directly from local short-track racing, as purchases such as supercar rentals at country club courses or time at other private racetracks are included in this number. But it does provide great insight in the importance of motorsports in New Jersey, which includes plenty of these local racetracks. So, I've explained how short tracks are under threat. I've explained why they're so important. I can only hope my points here have made you reconsider your local short track's importance. Here's what you could and should do to help. If you're a pre-established racing fan, which I'm sure most of this audience is, look into the Specialty Equipment Market Association's Right to Race page, which I've linked in the description of this video below. Here you can find a list of active legislation around the country and see if your state may have a prospective law in play that would protect your motorsport industry. Be sure to write to your state senator or representative to show them that you care about your local speedway. And if you're not a racing fan, I have one last personal anecdote I'd like to share with you. Leaving all the numbers aside for a moment, I've been around racing since I was young, attending my first NASCAR races in 2017 when I was just 11 years old. I've attended all sorts of professional sporting events, to the Knicks and Rangers at Madison Square Garden, to the New York Yankees at Yankee Stadium, and even the Syracuse Orange at the JMA Wireless Dome for some good old college football. And I'll tell you that none of them match the sounds, feelings, and experience of motor racing. Think about the loudest concert you've ever been to, and combine it with the most competitive sporting event you've ever watched. That's what I feel with every race I've ever been to. It never gets old, and I just hope that everybody in the world can get to experience the sensation that is live motor racing. So, as the summer season draws closer, pick an upcoming Saturday night. Bring your friends, bring your family, support your local speedway and the local businesses that support them, and the teens racing on that oval with lofty dreams that you once had to become the next big motorsports star. Even just attending one race is a great way to start saving your speedway. Thanks for watching.